ICT traders need to know about the Asia range if they want to trade gold. In this video, I'm going to give you an amazingly simple daily bias hack for gold, and I'm going to teach you some advanced statistics. So then whenever you are crunching numbers, you can be confident in your analysis. So I'm going to show you how to crunch the numbers using ChatGPT, and there is less than one chance in 1,000 that this doesn't work. So, some preliminary information. I have drawn out the New York sessions for gold. So the New York session starts at 9:30 a.m. and it finishes at 4. This is on the 15-minute time frame, so the closure of the 3:45 p.m. candle will lead us to 4 o'clock. So you'll see that we opened here and then we closed here. And on the following day, the open was here and the close was here. Now, something I need to define for you guys is the overnight session. So this is New York session. This is a previous New York session. So between 4 and 9:30 a.m. is the New York session. Now, what I'm going to show you using statistics is why this overnight Asia session is so important. Because I wanted to know whether the direction of how Asia plays out for gold has any influence on the New York session. So the question I'm going to answer is, does Asia lead to a continuation, a reversal, or is it uncorrelated with the following New York session? So this is a tool called Edgeful. Edgeful contains dozens of reports that allow you to find reoccurring phenomena. So this is an amazing one. This is a futures report for gold. It's called the overnight continuation. I'm using a year's worth of data. The session I'm using is the 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. session. You can customize these sessions for most of the reports. So if you trade a particular cycle, then you can set your own cycle and see if there's any correlation. So what this report basically says is, if we were green overnight, what is the percentage chance that we are green during the day? Similarly, if we are red overnight, what is the percentage chance that we're red over the day? But I'm going to teach you some advanced statistics using ChatGPT to make sense of this data. So overall, what it's saying is, if we are green overnight, that New York session, 64% of the time is also green. However, if we are red overnight, there's only a 52% chance of a red day. Now, do these statistics hold up? Okay, are these reliable? So far, we seem to have some kind of trend. Green overnight, 64% chance we're green during the day. Red overnight, a 52% chance we're red over the day. So let me drill into the ChatGPT statistics and teach you about p-values and chi-squared. So what I did was I took a screenshot of the data. So there's the data, green overnight. There was 154 days, and 98 times we had a green day followed by a green overnight. Similarly, there were 104 red nights, and 54 times we had a red overnight and a red day. But do these statistics actually hold value? This is how you can test it using advanced mathematics. So what I did with ChatGPT is I took a screenshot of that and I said, attached are statistics for gold futures. It shows if the overnight session is green, how likely is it that we will have a green day, green overnight, green day, aka a green continuation. Similarly, if the overnight session is red, how likely is it that we will have a red day, red overnight, red day, aka red continuation. Calculate the p-values of these stats and explain in layman's terms what the p-value means and how it was calculated. Okay, so you could actually use ChatGPT to teach you advanced statistics also. And I love using p-values and chi-squared to see whether the data I'm getting is worth trading. So let's have a look. For each overnight color, we test the null hypothesis that the next regular session is 50-50 green versus red, i.e. the overnight color doesn't matter. So the null hypothesis basically allows us to see random occurrences, and we always test our results against a random occurrence. So it said green overnight continuation happened 63% of the time, a red overnight continuation happened 52% of the time. So these are the p-values it calculated. Okay, so a green continuation has a p-value of 0.0089. Okay, a red continuation has a p-value of 0.769. Okay, what does this actually mean? P-value answers. If the true chance were 50-50, how likely is it to see results at least this extreme just by luck? Okay, so it's saying if there is no correlation between a green overnight and a green day, how likely would it be that if you had 1,000 days, 63% of them would be green? I.e., if there was no correlation, how likely is it we would find a correlation, which is random? So let me read that again. A p-value answers, if the true chance were 50-50, how likely is it to see results at least this extreme just by luck? So looking at the green continuation, for green overnights, getting 63.6% green days would happen by random chance less than one time in 1,000. Okay, because your p-value is 0.00089. That's strong evidence the chance of a green day is higher than 50% after a green overnight. So it's saying this is a strong correlation between a green overnight and a green New York session. For red overnights, getting 52% red days is very plausible under a random occurrence. Okay, because your p-value is only 0.77. Okay, that's not evidence of the edge. So the edge for gold is if we are green overnight between 4 p.m. and 9:30 a.m., there's a 63% chance that we will be green for the New York session. This gives you your daily bias. However, if we are red overnight, it's still 50-50 whether we're going to be red or green. Okay, so the edge only works is if we are green overnight, Asia, i.e. Asia is buying, i.e. China is moving away from the dollar and buying gold. Okay, if they are moving away from the dollar and buying gold during their time zone, then the New York session is likely to continue that. However, if they're selling, it's 50-50 whether New York will sell. Because obviously China and the BRICS countries aren't selling their gold. So if it's just a random occurrence of a sell, it's probably not going to continue. Or it may or may not continue in New York. Okay, huge edge, a huge lesson today, teaching statistics. It's important that you understand mathematics. It's important you understand statistics. I have studied advanced mathematics. I have studied in great length during my computer science undergraduate. I studied in great length during my MBA. But now you have no excuse because you can use ChatGPT to get it to teach you statistics. If you would like to access all of the reports that are in Edgeful, my subscribers get a 7-day trial. Just click the link in the description of this video. If you would like to find out exactly how I trade index futures, metals, energies, crypto, and Forex using my golden bullet, there's a link to my mentorship below.